Let's talk about the Epstein predicament. So Donald Trump has been digging himself a hole, and it's getting incredibly more difficult for him to dig himself out of this hole. It is incredible to watch. It's actually kind of sad to watch as well. So I got my timeline a little mixed up on this, so bear with me. We're going to kind of cover some of the stuff that took place. So Donald Trump came out and he had made this new Truth Social post, which I do not have up, and I should have it up, but I don't, where he essentially blamed Comey, what was it here? Obama and Comey that made up these files, by the way, which, by the way, Epstein was arrested, I believe, under Donald Trump and prosecuted under Donald Trump. But we'll ignore that. He's trying to say that this was due to Obama and Biden, causing a lot of issues, right, within his base. And because his base is like, yo, you promised we were going to get these. You promised we were going to get them, and he's not delivering them. So then we go over here, and Pam Bondi's being questioned because, remember, this all stemmed, because I know some of you guys haven't tuned in, and maybe you've been living under a rock. What happened is that there was a memo that was leaked to Axios saying that there was no Epstein client list. That's essentially what happened, was there was no client list, okay? Well, now Pam Bondi is having to answer for some of these wild claims. And you can see here, Pam Bondi just ignored and diverted a question about the files, which they've been feeling pressure from. There was a news conference that her and Donald Trump were faced with, and Pam Bondi was like, it doesn't exist. And she was freaking out. So this has been like the past 2 weeks. And so what we've seen is later on in the day, this was just yesterday, later on in the day, when asked again about these files, MAGA, I messed it up here. Okay, so one of the things is that it was Obama and Comey, right? And the thing is that we saw some of the MAGA personalities like Benny Johnson, for example, twist what Donald Trump was saying. Mind you, a lot of these MAGA personalities went radio silent after he announced he wasn't going to release anything. They went radio silent because they had made big promises. They made a check out to their viewers saying that this exists, and now it's time to cash in that check, and that check is not going to cash. It's not going to pass. So now they're trying to find any which way to hold on to the little bit of hope. And we see Benny Johnson here saying, anything credible, release it, I say, release it, give it to them. But let's listen to the entirety of this thing real quick, by the way. Let's listen to the entirety of what Donald Trump had to say.
I urge people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled?
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given. Don't forget, we went through years of the Mueller witch hunt and all of the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake. All that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff.
I don't know why I'd be interested in anybody, guys. You know, all of my MAGA supporters who I promised to give this stuff, I don't know why they're interested in it.
It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say.
So this is where now they're hanging on to, this little tiny sliver after he just said, I don't know why everybody's concerned about it. And we could see here, Benny Johnson once again on here. This is my Truth Social, Truth Social. This is my X. I don't know why I said Truth Social. This is my X account, and I put on here, Benny Johnson said, just got off the phone with top federal law enforcement contact. The change in approach to Epstein has been dramatic. Expect more disclosures. This was, by the way, 2 days ago. Okay, 2 days ago. And as I said, and I don't know why this darn thing is popping up. It's annoying as hell. Anyways, it says, Trump fell for it again award in 3, 2, 1, and they fell for it. We also see, for example, so for anyone unaware, Khanna put forward an amendment. This was an official amendment to say, hey, we want to release these items, right? We want to release the files, release what's in them. He put forth this amendment. and it was voted on by a committee. I don't remember the name of the committee, but they voted on it in a committee. Well, after that happened, that didn't work. It did not pass that committee. Okay, the Republicans voted it down. So then they put forth a new, like, procedural vote, I guess, if you will, to bring forth a vote to vote on it on the House floor. All of this is happening while Mike Johnson is giving an interview with Benny Johnson. I just realized they have the same last name. While they're giving an interview, Republicans, hands down, I don't know if I have it up, and I'll show it in a minute, pretty much all but I think 2 voted down that amendment to release the files. All while Mike Johnson's in here giving his unadulterated opinion, saying he supports Ghislaine Maxwell testifying to Congress and demands the DOJ release everything, saying, I'm for transparency. We should put everything out there and let the people decide. But the problem is Mike Johnson voted. And guess what? Mike Johnson voted to bring forth a vote to vote on releasing the files. And now Mike Johnson is changing his tune, by the way, too. I don't know if I have that up or not. While this is happening, Donald Trump is freaking out. So he's trying to do his smoke screen. This is one thing Donald Trump does time and time and time again, is he tries to paint a new story that he thinks will take the airwaves. He's like, all right, surely this is going to get this. This is going to divert the attention away. Get the attention away from this. It's not good for me. He now mentions that he's calling for the prosecution of Adam Schiff. Right? Now he's calling for the prosecution of Adam Schiff, which, by the way, in and of itself is pretty abhorrent. But it says a lot about this administration when what we're looking at here is that we don't even bat an eye to this. There's so many stories, and I've talked to people about this. If we look at before Trump, the biggest scandal in American history was, quite frankly, maybe you would say Clinton. You might say Nixon's Watergate scandal is probably one of the biggest scandals out there. But now that we've got Donald Trump, there's a scandal quite literally almost every day in this administration. And it says a lot when we look at this and go, okay, that's cool. He wants to prosecute Adam Schiff, a sitting member of Congress. Well, we don't care about that. We want to know more about these files. Althea said, sad Trump is failing on this. It's not sad. This is the reality. We all knew Donald Trump was delivering a big check that he wasn't able to fill. And keep in mind, I think I saw somebody in chat mention this, where they said that Donald Trump did not run on this. There was an interview with Fox News. I'll see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me see if I can pull it up, where he actually stated that he would release the files. Let me see if I can pull it up here. It's a Fox News interview. It's real easy. Let me see if I can pull it up here for you. I'll have to look for it. I don't want to interrupt the show, but you can go look for it. It's on there. It was an edited clip, which was also ironic. They edited the clip, even though they were all upset about CBS editing the Kamala Harris interview. But anyways, hey, by the way, guys, we got 354 people in here. Please make sure you hit that like, subscribe, notification bell if you are enjoying this content. All right. So yeah, you basically have Donald Trump saying now he wants to prosecute Adam Schiff. And the next thing we know is we have, again, more MAGA personalities like Tim Pool saying absolutely insane that Democrats actually voted to have the U.S. government publish that. What is going on anymore? But keep in mind, by the way, Tim Pool mentioned that Pam Bondi just said the Epstein list is on her desk. They're flip-flopping. These MAGA personalities are flip-flopping left and right. It's insane. And this was today. Okay, so that was all that took place yesterday. Okay, this was yesterday. Now we're here today. So if you're watching the timeline, you're like, where are we at? We're on today. Okay, this is all taking place in the past 2 days. Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social. This was very early in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. The radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again. Pay dirt typically happens when you mean that the Democrats have something. He's admitting there's something in those files. Okay? So, Rasputin, dislike. Tim is not MAGA. He's a liberal like myself. Sorry, we're not leftists. Okay, see, well, there you go. I don't. That's the funny thing to me is they're like, he's a liberal. And then you start saying some crazy stuff. Whatever. Anyways, so you have here, just like with the fake and fully discredited Steele dossier, the lying 51 intelligence agencies, the laptop from hell, which the Dems swore had come from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. And even the Russia scam itself, a totally fake and made up story used in order to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss. See, again, what he's saying here in between the lines is that there's something there. Why do you think Donald Trump is so freaked out about this? Now, I want to make this abundantly clear. We don't know what's there. It could be, and I will take this stance. I've heard it mentioned a couple of times. I will equally take this stance. We cannot say for certain whether it is that they are, he's on a simple list, whether there's some incriminating evidence. We do not know because they've not released it. They've not released it, so we don't know, but it sure does sound like someone who is guilty of something, right? So, and I want to be very clear here. People may point to the Democrats and say, well, why didn't the Democrats do it? I believe under Biden, we saw some of the release of the Epstein files. And secondly, it's important to mention this as well. Democrats didn't run on releasing these files. Donald Trump, and if not Donald Trump, MAGA certainly, and the MAGA personalities that surrounded Donald Trump absolutely ran on they will release the files. So I digress. Let's go back here. They are no good at governing, no good at policy, and no good at picking winning candidates. I would say MAGA is no good at picking winning candidates. The fact that Donald Trump only won by 1%, and I think he barely gained 1 million voters, if that. I don't even think he gained very much at all when it came to the last election. I digress. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick together like glue. Totally untrue. It's totally untrue. We can look at Bernie. We can look at the fact that Democrats consistently, time and time again, fail to unify when it matters the most. This is one of the reasons why Democrats have a low approval rating, not because they're uniquely disliked. Democrats in and of themselves dislike the way that the Democratic Party is going right now. Their new scam is that we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, and my past supporters, now he's calling all of you MAGA, past supporters have bought into this quote-unquote bullshit hook, line, and sinker. Know that he's talking to all of you MAGAs who are in my chat. He's talking to you. Oops. He's talking to you guys. That's who he's referring to. They haven't learned the lesson and probably never will. You MAGA, you didn't learn your lesson and you probably never will. That's what he's saying. I've had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history. Any president in our country's history? The one bill he got passed was the one big, beautiful bill that strips Medicaid, Medicare, and SNAP benefits away from recipients. Congratulations. I disagree. I don't know what you did here. And all these people want to talk about with strong prodding by the fake news and the success-starved Dems is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings, now he's calling y'all weaklings, continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Do the Democrats' work. He is in essence calling you MAGA who want this Democrats, and for all intents and purposes. And then thank you for your he's doing this new thing where he says thank you for your attention to this matter. Which, again, this is why Donald Trump, I think, he thinks that when he puts something on paper, it's some kind of an official document. It kind of is, but it's not. Anyways, so now we get this, Charlie Kirk. Okay, we're getting flooded with hundreds of thousands of comments that are very unhappy about the Epstein files, and I think they're unhappy about it because they voted for Trump to go after the deep state. A lot of this is just a misunderstanding, guys. It's just a misunderstanding. It is wild to me to see the cognitive dissonance when it comes to this matter. And let's be aware, this is not a simple cognitive dissonance when it comes to these MAGA personalities. This is a narrative that they are trying to form, and I believe we saw it before. I'm not accusing Charlie Kirk of this per se, but we have seen it where Donald Trump's administration sends out these talking points to these big talking heads. It would not surprise me if that is happening right now. Maybe Charlie Kirk is getting it. I don't know. And again, it's interesting that he's calling it a hoax in 2015. I don't think I can play this, but he was calling it a hoax now, but he wasn't saying that in 2015 when he ran on it and used it to go after his opponents. You can watch this. CNN is very copyright heavy. I don't want to play it right now. I'm going to read some of our comments real quick and take a brief pause. Let's go ahead and read some of these comments. Stop trying to cause more division. Trump is the only president getting things done. Incorrect, Stacey. Joe Biden got quite a bit done as well. And again, he didn't get he caught a lot of flack for it, even though he did a lot of, his economy was recovering pretty well. Actually, it was one of the best economic recoveries in the world. But unfortunately, Donald Trump's propaganda machine is extremely strong. And when people's wallets are tight, again, because like we talked about earlier, inflation goes up, things of that nature, people unfortunately bought into the lie. And just like they bought into this lie with Epstein. Stacey, Trump may be getting, if the list existed, it was destroyed under Biden's watch. You'd have no proof of that C unit, no more proof than I could say that it didn't. You have no proof of that. This is the problem, is a lot of MAGA right now relies on this, and they're trying to hold on to every little string with zero evidence. And just like I said, I don't know if Donald Trump is in these lists. I don't know where he would exist in these lists. But it looks pretty damning when he's sitting there and defending this to no end. Trump says, stop talking about Epstein because it'll make me look bad. Yeah, pretty much, Renee. And the problem is he keeps talking about it. If Donald Trump stopped talking about it, it wouldn't be so bad. But he keeps talking about it. And guess what? That's great. As a Democrat, please continue. Democrats need to grip this. Democrats need to get in there and actually use this, exploit this. This is exactly what they need. Now, my faith in Democrats have been pretty low because they sometimes drop the ball when it matters the most. There they go, blaming Biden again, but when they run against him, he is incompetent. Yeah, this is the problem, Money, is a lot of the times MAGA doesn't have a real consistent talking point, right? 1 minute they'll say Biden is incompetent. The next thing he's a crazy genius. This is the same thing with the auto pen, right? It's hilarious to me when they talk about Biden and the auto pen because then Donald Trump himself has used an auto pen. You think Donald Trump signed all 1,600 pardons? That's the easy go-to one. So again, Donald Trump uses an auto pen just like everybody else. Tyson, Democrats might be on the list. In fact, I think Clinton is one of the most prominent Democrats we can think of that would have been on that, possibly on that list. I think his painting, wherever it was on that island. So you're probably right. There might be Democrats. I don't care. Release it. I'm not for protecting that person. MAGA's It's so funny to me that Donald Trump is putting MAGA into a position to defend Epstein. There's so many people I've talked to on the MAGA side that said, well, you know, we shouldn't release it because I've been on TikTok lives and it gets pretty crazy. They'll say, well, don't release it because there's big leaders on there. I don't care if there's big leaders. Release it. I'm not for protecting these people. Why wouldn't Biden release the files if Trump is in it? He released some of them. Some of the things that MAGA was using in that big old binder when they all held it up were released under Biden. Biden and the Democrats released this stuff. It was an active investigation, if I'm not mistaken, because Ghislaine Maxwell was still sitting in a federal penitentiary and they were still prosecuting her. So there were certain limits of things they could and could not release. Certainly. But it also, again, it's funny to me when you all bring this up because, again, Democrats did not run on this. Republicans did. That's the funny thing about it is you act like this is some kind of thing. Like, gotcha. Haha. Democrats didn't release it. Why didn't they release it? They didn't run on it. Republicans did. We are holding you to account. When you make a promise and you fill out a check saying it exists, it's there, and then it comes time to cash that check and it doesn't go through, you're held responsible. So again, it's hilarious when this happens. All right, let's get back into the news. So here we go here. Trump, the FBI ought to look into the Jeffrey Epstein hoax that was run by the Biden administration for 4 years. I can imagine what they've put into files. Now Donald Trump, see what he's trying to do is trying to say, see, the Democrats put some, by the way, this is a brand new thing that came out right before I started stream, guys. It's still evolving. He's now saying that they may have put things into the files. I'm just saying, as somebody who is a pretty innocent person, Donald Trump sounds extremely guilty here, that there's something in there. It could be as simple as an address book. It may be innocent, but Donald Trump has something in there, right? Why is he saying that they're putting something in the files? We don't even know what they're putting in there. So again, when we talk about this Epstein thing, it is something that is going to continue to haunt Republicans, and Trump is putting his fellow Republicans into a very precarious position because Republicans are now going to have to answer for whether they want to release these files or not. It's coming. they're going to have to answer for this. They're going to have to go to their constituents and say, I didn't vote to release this because of this. Donald Trump is ruining what's happening to the Republican Party. Now, I want to be clear here. I don't think this is the end for MAGA. A lot of my fellow commentators will sit there and say that this is the end for MAGA. I don't believe this is the end for MAGA. Why? Because I think MAGA is a cult of personality. It's not centered around one man. Yes, right now it's centered around Donald Trump, but rest assured there is a Donald Trump light sitting off in the corner waiting to make their stage presence. We saw a little bit of that with Vivek Ramaswamy, right? When Vivek came up, they went to him because why? They could sit there and use the excuse. They could say, see, I don't support Donald Trump. I support Vivek. At one point it was, DeSantis, but now DeSantis isn't really super friendly to Donald Trump. It kind of goes back and forth. And I want y'all to notice, and please notice this and be careful of this. You're going to see MAGA personalities come out and you're going to go, wow, they may actually be leaving MAGA. No. This is a virtue signal. Rest assured, they will never blame Donald Trump. Rest assured, if they do blame Donald Trump, they're not leaving MAGA. They will continue to espouse some of the MAGA talking points. They will continue to defend Donald Trump to some extent or another. Right now, MAGA is scrambling because they don't have a talking point. So again, MAGA is not going anywhere. They're here. They're going to be here for quite a while. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure you hit that like, subscribe, notification bell to get notified of all future videos. And I hope you watch the next video. Thank you so much.